This is a tutorial on comparing fractions. You can go to Think Central, My Library, iTools, Fractions, and then choose Compare from the activities if you want to. So we talked about before that if the upstairs numerator is a 1, that's called a unit fraction. I'm going to compare unit fractions first. So I'm going to compare 1/2 to 1/5. Now we've talked about the downstairs denominator. As the downstairs denominator number gets larger, the pieces get smaller. I can just eyeball this and see that 1/5 is less than 1/2, 1/2 is greater than 1/5. So I'm going to check my answer. I think 1/2 is greater, so I want the open mouth toward the 1/2. Then I check my answer. Correct. All right. Now I sweep it clean. I'm going to now compare not just unit fractions, but other fractions. So I'm going to get another third. I'm going to compare 2/3, and I think I'm going to do some sixths, and I want to try and see what could maybe be equivalent. Okay, that's still smaller. I'm going to go for another one. Okay, when I eyeball it, I think those are equivalent, so I'm going to guess equivalent and see what happens. Yes, they are equivalent. Terrific, I was right. Before the break, before school closure, I taught the students a trick to figure out if something's equivalent. You multiply the top and the bottom by the same number. Now, if I multiplied 2 times what equals 4? 2 times 2 equals 4. Then I have to do the same times to the bottom. 3 times 2 does equal 6. These are equivalent fractions. Sweep it clean. Let's compare 1/2 to 3/4. Now I can tell by eyeballing it that 1/2 is less than 3/4, but I just want to try my little trick just for fun. 1 times what equals 3? 1 times 3 equals 3. Then I have to do the same times to the bottom. Does 2 times 3 equal 4? No, these are not equivalent. I can tell by my eyeball that 1/2 is less than 3/4, so I want the open mouth to be eating the 3/4 because that's greater. 1/2 is less than 3/4. Check my answer. Correct. Yay. That is comparing unit fractions and other fractions.